So ever since GPT-3 has been released to the public, not a lot of people talk about it as they used to. I think probably I would say that it's better from a marketing standpoint to have something kept exclusive so that people would talk about it instead of just releasing it to the public and then everybody's just gonna move on and not necessarily talk about it as they used to. Because if you look at the trends for GPT-3 on Twitter, for the word GPT-3 on Twitter or on Google Trends, you'll see, let's actually trends Google Trends. Let's actually look GPT-3. Interest over time. It spiked when it was probably released, not Romania but worldwide. Can't exactly remember when it was released, but as you can see, there is a sort of like consistent trend, and the most interested region is the Chinese one. GitHub Copilot, Codex. Regardless, what I wanted to say in this video is that I don't want this to fly under the radar because new GPT-3 capabilities have been added and I'm in the playground here, which is really, really important and really exciting, and I wish I had more time to actually go and play around with it because most of these days I'm head on cybersecurity, head on penetration testing, and I do spend significantly less time with machine learning and natural language processing. So we've released new versions of GPT-3 and Codex which can edit or insert content into existing text. This is just mind-boggling. I'm not really sure if you can understand the implications of that, but it's really, really mind-boggling, at least to me. These new capabilities make it practical to use the OpenAI API to revise existing content, such as rewriting a paragraph of text or refactoring code. This unlocks new use cases and improve existing ones. So, for example, you would have a piece of code and say, what's wrong with this code? Insertion is already being piloted in GitHub Copilot with promising early results. Now, improve the runtime complexity. Translate to JavaScript. You're saying that. Let's actually take a piece of code here. So what would this actually be? Let's try and see DaVinci Codex, Code DaVinci 02. This is probably the one. The mode is complete, insert, or edit. Let's go to Stack Overflow, for example. A certain issue on Stack Overflow. Take some piece of code that has answers, of course. So we have this one. All I'm trying to do here is take two integers as input in an infinite while loop with terminating char2x. Seems to work nice and dandy, but then why is that my output for my declaration isn't displaying? Let's actually take this piece of code and actually input it. Let's do the complete one. That one. And then let's just copy paste this text, and then submit. We've got no predictions here. I'm trying to do here is take two integers in an infinite loop with a terminating char to exit the loop. Seems to work nice and dandy, but then why is it that my output for my declaration isn't displaying? I'm working through my reading material step by step to further my understanding. Any help would be greatly appreciated. Let's try that one more time. So there is no completion. Let's do the edit and then just do this instruction in there, code the DaVinci edit. Let's see. Do we have something or not? Is it different? So value 1, value 2, value 3, while true it opens up, does the same thing, else continue, standard cin, takes value 1, value 2, doesn't seem to do much, just adds another value 3, and never use it. So I don't see. Let's try another one. Let's try maybe an easier one. Where we have a piece of code. Simpler one. Let's try Python. So Python. We have no answer. Let's categorize based on bounty. I'm trying to run a command, but I get the following error. We have no answer here. I'm trying to run a command serverless deploy. Let's actually input get this one here. And just say, how do I fix this? Let's see how we are with the timing. 9 minutes. And then move on for the blog post. Seems to be taking some time to compute this. So GPT-3 and Codex have traditionally added text to the end of existing content based on the text that came before, which is this one, the complete mode. So there's nothing in here. Of course, we have no output except the input that we've just pasted. Now, I would say that this is to be tested more so as to determine its efficiency. But as you've seen here, they said have traditionally added text to the end of existing content. So it would be this mode. This is the mode that we're actually used to. Now the second one, the insert and the edit, those are the ones. Whether working with text, writing is more than just appending. It's an iterative process where existing text is revised. So I'm really glad they've actually considered or they actually added this, because I thought about it when I built my AI application, and I'm actually really excited into putting this or actually updating AI according to these. GPT-3 and Codex can now edit text, changing what's currently there or adding text to the middle of the content, which is really important, inserting into the middle of text. The new insert capability, which is this one, adds contextually relevant text in the middle of existing content. Providing future context to the model can improve the quality of completions for applications such as writing long text form, transitioning between paragraphs, following an outline, or guiding the model toward an ending. So we can't copy paste that. Let's just say section 1, Python loops. We're gonna use insert. Section 2, Python variables. Insert. Note that we didn't add any context. We're just, the simple context is section 1 and section 2. We might not get the best completion, but let's actually try and see. Please use exactly one insert to indicate where the text should be inserted. There. Computing. Meanwhile, in the example above, the desire is to fill in the text between two section headers of an outline. Without the context of future sections, the model generates a completion that isn't relevant to the second section. Interesting. So this would actually be a course. Introduction, preview, Python loops, preview, Python while loops, Python for loops, Python nested, and all of them, all of them are 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Pass, break, continue. Of course, so we didn't add any context, which is why the not so great output. When the context of future sections are accounted for, the model generates a completion that ties to the two sections together. So these are best practices. Insert, in this case, we're in a Python program, small script, and this is where the insert would go. Is particularly useful for writing code. Codex was our original motivation for developing this capability, since in software development we typically add code to the middle of an existing file where code is present. This is gonna be really useful for the developers who actually know how to combine machine learning capabilities into their day-to-day work. In the example above, the model successfully completes the missing function prune while connecting to code already written. We also add a docstring and missing imports. So add import there, docstrings, which is not possible without knowing the code that comes after. In Copilot, insert is currently being piloted with early promising results. I'll probably do a Copilot video in the future. The insert capability is available in the API today, And this capability can be used with Text DaVinci 002 and Code DaVinci 002, which is insert here. Code DaVinci 002. Text DaVinci insert. Let's see. Code DaVinci insert actually, which is what we had. Try that one more time. See if we get the same output. Pricing is the same as previous versions of DaVinci. Editing existing text. So yes, a meaningful part of writing text and code is spent editing existing content. We released a new endpoint edits that changes existing text via an instruction instead of completing it. So editing works by specifying existing text as a prompt and an instruction on how to modify it. The edits can be used to change the tone of structure or make targeted changes like fixing spelling. Grammarly, if you don't get your act together and you do not become competitive, this might actually be a very good competition to you. In the example above, we use edits, and cheaper probably. To add a poem, change the poem to be in the first person, transform the poem. So in the example above, add a short poem about GPT-3. Let's do the same thing. So we are in the edits. We should be in the completion mode. Let's poem about sunny days. Text DaVinci, maximum length, temperature. Let's do the temperature 0.8. Sunny days. They bring a smile to our face, a touch of warmth. Let's try this in edit. Go back to this one. It deleted it. A poem about sunny days. 0.8. Take this, put it in the edit. I love sunny days, they make me feel so alive. I can't help but smile when I feel the warm sun on my face. There's something about sunny days that just makes everything feel right. I can't help but feel happy when the sun is shining bright. Nice. What should we do to this poem? Make it in the third person. Text DaVinci edit, temperature, top P. Should be right. She loves sunny days, they make me feel so alive. We have obviously an error here. She can't help but smile when I feel the warm sun on my face. This is actually hilarious. There's something about sunny days that just makes everything feel right. She can't help but feel happy when the sun is shining bright. So in this situation, what if I say make it impersonal? What happens? A poem about sunny days. We love sunny days, they make me feel so alive. It seems to have an issue with this one. We can't help but smile. Now in this situation it actually puts it in the first person plural when I feel the warm sun on my face, so it doesn't do anything in there. There's just something about sunny days that just makes everything feel right. So it didn't do much. Editing works by specifying existing text as a prompt and an instruction of how to modify it. Well, we tried that. The edits endpoint is particularly useful for writing code. It works well for tasks like refactoring, adding documentation, translating between programming languages, and changing coding style. The example above starts with JSON input containing cities ranked by population. With our first edit, Codex removes the rank field from the JSON, remove rank, and changes the state abbreviation into full names. Edit converts the JSON into YAML. So editing is available as a specialized endpoint and through a new interface in the playground. It is supported by Edit 1 DaVinci and Edit 1 Code DaVinci. So this is free to use and publicly available. Now, really insightful, and this actually made me very excited to actually start playing around with GPT-3 with these new capabilities. One more, and also I'm probably going to insert these capabilities into Alter AI, so to make it much more powerful than it is right now. So we'll see what, if you fellows are interested in this type of video and this type of experimentation, let me know in the comments below, and I'll keep doing more videos on GPT-3 and Codex, which is something that I'm really fascinated about. So with that being said, I'm actually gonna end this video here.